What's up, gamers? It's Above, and in today's video we're going to be covering the brand new artifact, the Synaptic Spear in Witch Queen and the brand new season. So if you guys haven't actually unlocked this just yet, you just need to complete the first campaign mission, and that will grant you guys access to this brand new artifact. We're going to go through it in depth. I don't have every single mod unlocked yet. As of right now, I have 12 of the 25 artifact mods unlocked, and they've actually changed it so that originally when you unlock 12, you would have access to every single artifact row, and that is no longer the case. It actually takes more artifact unlocks to unlock the final row of mods. If you guys are wondering why that is, it's because you can now access all 25 permanently once you've unlocked all 25, but until you're able to do that, you're not actually able to access these until you unlock more of the artifact mods, a higher percentage of the 25 mods. So hopefully that makes sense. The mods that I recommend, we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to get right into it. All of these mods are pretty solid. I think the weakest of the primary mods this season are the Overload rounds, which are actually bugged at the moment. We have Overload SMG and Auto Rifle. Both are okay. Of the two, I'd probably recommend SMG because I think Warmind cells are going to make a resurgence with cellular suppression and the Hive Guardians. So I would look out for running like either the Ikelos SMG or the 7th Seraph SMG. I think those will be really solid options. I was actually lucky enough to get the brand new Trial Scouts. If you want to use this, it can roll with perks like Triple Tap and Vorpal, which is really strong. You can use trusty options like the Night Watch or Vouchsafe or any scout that you prefer. Always a really solid mod for anti-barrier. Unstop Hand Cannon, pretty self-explanatory, really solid option. The Piercing Bowstring, I've not had the opportunity to try this. We haven't encountered any champions in the campaign just yet, but I imagine with Explosive Head or Vorpal, which are very accessible perks on most bows, this is going to be a really strong mod. And then Pulse Rifle's got a 10% buff on top of the 40% exotic Pulse Rifle buff, so those will be very strong as well. So honestly, highly recommend anything in this first row. It's really personal preference. Glaive Dexterity, we just started messing around with the Glaive. I don't think this is necessary. Typically, Dexterity mods in PvE aren't fully necessary. Rocket Launcher Scavenger, definitely a solid mod as well. For Psionic Forging 1 and 2, these increase the duration of Psycho Hack origin traits and the Synergy origin traits for Suros, as well as the Hawkeye Breach Armaments origin trait as well. So basically, these just enhance the Psycho Hack traits, as well as the Land Tank origin traits, as well as any of the Forge origin traits as well. As for Melee Wellmaker, because of Childs of the Old Gods and other really strong fragments that we have where you can debuff enemies, I think melees are going to be getting used a lot. So having an empowered melee that can spawn an elemental well is actually going to be really strong. Highly recommend Melee Wellmaker. Glaive Scav, always good to have scavengers for 1 point. Always mods that I will highly recommend, especially if you have Artifice Armor. You can place this in the final slot for a simple 1 point mod, which is really great. This is probably one of the best mods in the entire artifact. Thermoshock Plating reduces incoming solar damage from combatants and reduces incoming arc damage from combatants. I assume this is basically the same 25% resist that solar and arc resist grant, but it's in one mod. If you have activities like a certain Nightfall, Scarlet Keep, for example, you take both arc and solar damage from the wizards and the knights and things like that. So this is a great mod. It's a 2-for-1, super efficient, and you should, if you double stack this, get a 40% resist. And if you use Artifice Armor, where you have a final slot, you may even see that go up anymore. I'm not sure if you can stack more than 2. You might be limited to 2. Potential synergies there to keep your survivability up, especially with Protective Light being nerfed from 50% down to 10% this season. Font of Might, if you guys watched my video on the mod that changes everything for Supreme Wellmaker, it all relies around the Font of Might mod. So if you guys haven't checked out this, highly recommend starting to build into elemental wells, especially with the Protective Light nerf. This is going to be better than ever. And for 1 point, you can easily equip this with so many builds and still run things like Protective Light, still run things like Warmind cells, things of that nature, so definitely worth checking that out. As for Unstop, we have Unstop Glaive. We'll have to see how viable Glaive is in the endgame. I can't recommend this mod to you guys just yet, especially since we don't know just how good the Glaive is going to be in endgame PvE activities where you would use this, so I would hold off on this one for now. However, I would unlock Lucent Finisher as you guys make your way through the campaign. Defeating a Lucent Hive Lightbearer or champion with your finisher spawns heavy ammo for you and your allies. So this is basically like heavy finisher finisher or Spoils of War from back in the day, and that'll actually pair really well with Echo of Obscurity. So when you go for a finisher, it'll grant you invisibility. So when you go and finish a Hive Guardian, you'll not only get plus 10 recovery on this fragment, you'll also go invis and generate ammo for your fire team with that artifact mod. So there's some insane synergy there. And then on your hunter, you can run something like Assassin's Cowl, which will also make you invisible if you don't have access to this fragment or you're using a different build other than Void. Next up, we have Suppressing Glaive. Damaging combatants with your glaive suppresses them, preventing them from using abilities for a short time. This is huge. I would highly recommend this mod. I think suppression's going to be extremely meta, as I mentioned earlier with Warmind cells and cellular suppression, as well as suppressive nades. This is going to be an insane ability, especially if you guys are using glaives in the end game. I would highly recommend this, as well as for the campaign. It's going to be a really good mod to help you guys out with suppressing Hive Guardians. Overload grenades. A lot of us are going to be running Void with the Void 3.0 update. Highly recommend Void Overload nades. It was one of the best mods in Season of the Rivals back when you guys, I'm sure, remember using things like Oppressive Darkness, so highly recommend this mod. Inferno Whip. Solar melee abilities stun shielded combatants. If you guys are using the 1-2 punch Titan build, this could be good. I don't think I'm going to unlock it personally, at least not for a while until I have more of my other unlocks finished first, but definitely a solid option. Suppression Mastery. Suppression effects you create have increased duration. This is huge. This just opens up freedom for you and your fire team. We'll be covering these mods more in depth in another video once we've had time to test these, so feel free to stay tuned for that on the channel later this week. Devouring Depths. Casting your Void super while you are critically wounded or benefiting from Devour increases your damage with that super. This includes when Devour is up. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be weak. This could be really strong with the new Void 3.0 subclasses, especially because you have Feed the Void as an aspect. Basically, it procs Devour regardless of the subclass tree that you're on, so you can be running top tree Nova Bomb and have the ability to proc Devour. Really strong synergy there. Next up, we have Volatile Flow. Picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds, which actually, if we go over to Void 3.0, this actually is an ability that is done from your empowered melee. So Volatile, the target is afflicted with unstable Void energy and will explode upon taking additional damage. Having this on your weapons could be huge, especially for mass ad clear. Just giving your gun volatile rounds is actually pretty strong. Energy Vampirism. Gain energy for your least charged ability when you suppress a target. This is strong. I don't know if it's worth 3 mod points because suppression abilities don't come up all that often, and typically our ability uptimes, I feel like we have pretty good ways to regen them as they are already. So this one to me looks to be on the weaker side. I could be wrong. Depends how much of a chunk it gives. If it's like half of your abilities back every time, could be decent. Obviously also depends on the volume of enemies that you can suppress within the campaign, so that's just something to keep in mind. And then last up, we have Suppressive Darkness. Whenever you suppress a combatant, you also weaken them, causing them to take additional damage for a short time. We'll need to see if this is similar to the 15% debuff that is on the Void 3.0 subclasses, or if this is similar to the original Oppressive Darkness. If this is in the realm of the original Oppressive Darkness that gives a 30% debuff, this mod could be absolutely insane. I already think it's going to be one of the strongest, but if it's original oppressive levels of debuff, this could be an unbelievable mod for this season. All right, guys, that concludes the Synaptic Spear artifact mod overview. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be deep diving into more of these mods in future videos, but I just wanted to get you guys a quick video to cover everything that you need to know about the new artifact, which mods I recommend, just at a high level for gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!